Well, apparently, I saw this clip. It was his brother from probably maybe a couple seasons ago on some Black People Love show on OWN. And I guess what was funny to me was that this brother was saying, hey, he came from a single mom. And, the woman that I guess he might not have chosen because she was on the other side of the couch with some other nigga was like, hey, remember when you said this about me? And they were trying to shame this brother for saying, hey, you came from a single mom. Why are you shaming that? Because I guess he felt like he was doing a lot better in his life and he shouldn't have to settle, right, for a single mother. Now, I know that's a loaded way for to say that, but is he wrong? Like, if we're talking about dating and having options, if you are top of the food chain, if you're a high value man, shout out to Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. Does that man have to settle? Because the reason why I'm saying it this way, the women on the show were shaming him to make it seem like he did have to choose because somehow he didn't love his mama or because you came from a single mom. Why wouldn't you? So it's one thing to have your choice, your opinion, but they were making it seem like he should or should date a single mom or put them on par with another woman who may not have kids. So what are your thoughts about that? Is he, wrong or no?
I'll go ahead and jump in here. So I'm actually of both minds on this. And so you guys probably hate this because I already said I'm going to be flippity, floppity, floppity, flip. So this is what I'm going to start off with.
Oh, that's new for you, S&M. I've never seen that before. Not you straddling the fence and not taking bold takes.
So, well, it depends on how you look at this by the time I finish.
Okay.
So first, I want to start off by saying this. I think that he's well within his right not to settle, right? If he feel like he has these options, then let him have his options. If that's his preference, then that's his preference. Because if he do decide to settle, will it lead to resentment later on to the partner that he settled with because she had a mother? Because she's a single mother, would it also lead to him perhaps resenting that child eventually because he didn't want to be with a single mother? But more importantly, he has options. I think we should stop shaming people for their preference, right? I think that at some point we got to say, hey, because there's more women now that are saying that they don't want to deal with a man who has children too now. There's your preference shouldn't equate to being admonished or shamed or whatnot, especially if it's coming from a genuine place. Now, the fact that he came from a single mother, is there a thing called, I don't want to continue the cycle? Can I break the cycle? Right? Do I have to? And someone can argue like, yes, he's breaking the cycle because he's going to get with a single mother and therefore make that family unit whole. And so on that part of it, I'm just going to say, I think the women were wrong for trying to shame him. As a matter of fact, I think the more you try to shame a man into dating a single mother, the more you actually stigmatize the act of dating single mothers. I think that we take a time to step back and say, you know what? Let this man have his preference, then single mothers may get some bail because it's like, oh, you know what? They stopped shaming him for not wanting somebody who already had a kid because there's already been cases and studies that show that stepfathers don't necessarily fare well in certain relationships, right? Depending on the dynamic with that mother. And so it's like, I'm going to have to go there. On the other side of the fence, though, I don't see why he wouldn't want to date a single mother, right? And I say this because single mothers have already proven that they have leadership skills. Now, they may not have other skills, such as the skills to, now I won't even say that because that's going to be a little more toxic than I want it to be. So I'm just going to put it this way. They're already running a household. They're already managing the schedule. They're already budgeting. They're already nurturing. They're already protecting their child. So technically that's real world leadership and not leadership in theory. So if you're looking for somebody as a high value man or any man, and you're looking for somebody to help build with, wouldn't this be the type of traits that you would want in that person? Somebody who already has proven leadership style, somebody who has already proven that she has the ability to be a nurturer because you want to nurture your relationship as well. And then I also think that it shows that women are handling their responsibility because we often say that we want women to be accountable. Well, you can't be more accountable than being a single mother unless you're a deadbeat single mother, in which case they need to, I'm going to leave that there because we're going to keep trying to be positive on this part. And so ultimately, I think that single mothers will understand the whole capability of sacrifice and commitment, right? Because they're already committed to that child and they're already committed to the idea of sacrifice. So if you, let's say as a businessman, for an example, and you're in the process of building your business, then she's more likely to relate to the fact that you may have to sacrifice your time while she's building that business or while you're building that business so that they can prosper or that he can prosper. She's more likely to play her role because she already knows what her role is. She already understands sacrifice. She already understands commitment. She already understands what allotment is, allotment of time. She already understands that type of scheduling. And more importantly, they ain't going to play with your time. You know why? Because they ain't got no time. You know where their time at? spending with their child. And if you need time, so basically what I'm saying is, because some people say that's actually a con as well, because she don't have time per se. But if you're in the process of building your empire, then that may be okay, because now you don't have to worry about her complaining that you're not spending no time with me, because she already preoccupied. She already got somebody occupying her time, so that you don't have to get that shade from not spending time with her. I just think that there's other attributes that can be looked at if a man want a single mother. I don't think there's a single it should be like, oh, she's not worthwhile, that she's not of value, because she is of value regardless. And having this real life experience by being a single mother actually shows how much value she brings to the table. And on top of that, nowadays they're claiming that our fertility rates are going down more so in other communities than our communities. And so she's already has a proven track record of being fertile if you want some kids, because she already shown that she's fertile as well. I just think that there's lots of opportunities with single mothers, but at the end of the day, it's still his preference, and we need to respect that.
I'm gonna come on in and say, listen, the man is 100% right. Now, first, in full disclosure, I grew up in a single parent household. My parents got divorced shortly after I was born, right? Saw my daddy during the summers and stuff, whatever. But now that doesn't mean that I should go out and get a single parent. There's lots of reasons why that may not be a good move for him. If you are, first off, I've said it before, single mothers have unfinished business. Okay. And if you step into that situation, you are agreeing to step into helping them with their unfinished business before your business can even start. Right. Plus, you're coming in to publish a book that's already been written. The best you can hope is a footnote, particularly if the child is older. Right now, you got to deal with systems in place and habits that they have that you might not agree with. They might not align with you, but this is the way this woman, as S&M said, has been leading her house. Right. And so unless she's willing to change it up and let you come in and shake it up and make it right, you are going into a problematic situation that you didn't have to go into. I think he probably said it because he probably did. Because growing up in a home with a single parent, he was like, shoot, I know my mama had brought this Negro around. I would have given him hell. He wouldn't have told me nothing. He ain't my daddy. He ain't this, he ain't that. He's like, he doesn't want that for himself. Are there people out there who are checking for single moms? Yes, there are. I know a guy who likes starter families, right? He likes single moms. He likes to come in when the kids are already there. He wants to be a dad. He wants to be impactful. He wants to change lives. He has yet to successfully do that, okay? He is running into the problems that I've expressed to you time and time again. So it may be something to that, right? Single moms, look, you're worthy, you're beautiful. Clearly somebody thought that you was really that because they took the time to get you pregnant. You know what I mean? Now, what happened after that is a whole nother story. I won't get into it. But yeah, you have value, but you also have baggage, okay? And it's okay for somebody to say, listen, my trunk can't hold all your baggage. That's okay, right? He has that right. He's moved in a way that does not require him to pick up something that he feels like is not good for him or is too much for him. And I think that for men to sit down on the front end is wise, rather than being in a Captain Save-A-Hoe. And now you out here, and I'm not calling single moms hoes. I'm just saying most of the men who go after single moms are Captain Save-A-Hoes, or they want the instant family, the add water family. Right? They out here trying to make somebody's life different and turn it around and change it and be this good guy, this white knight. And guess what, sir? You will die on your sword 9 times out of 10. No, I get it. Don't press that man because he didn't want that. There are other people out there who probably do want that, but he's not one. And it's fair for and right and just for him not to want that, because there's a lot more to it. It's not just you. It's you and your child. What if your child is poorly raised? What if your child got a smart mouth? Right? What if you and your child got these systems in place in your house that don't work for him, right? Yeah, maybe the kids that haven't learned to do any chores. You do all the chores. Now you got him in there like, I need you to help me with the dishes. Hell no. Because when I was growing up, my mom had the kids helping out. You need to teach your kids better. Now it's all kinds of problems. So no, get that man some bail.